Have you ever caught yourself scrolling through social media, feeling like you're stuck in a never-ending loop of comparison? You're not alone. We've all been there, scrolling through our feeds, comparing our lives to the highlight reels of others. But the truth is, those curated online profiles are often a far cry from reality. They're a snapshot of someone's best moments, carefully crafted to make you feel like you're not good enough. But what's the real cost of this endless comparison? The first insight is that comparison is a natural human behavior. We've been doing it since the dawn of time, trying to measure ourselves up against others to see how we stack up. But with social media, it's like we're mainlining comparison directly into our veins. It's constant, it's relentless, and it's exhausting. I remember when I first started my journey, I would spend hours scrolling through my feeds, feeling like I was stuck in a rut. I would compare my life to the lives of others, and it would leave me feeling inadequate, anxious, and stuck. The second insight is that comparison is a thief. It steals our joy, our peace, and our sense of self-worth. When we compare ourselves to others, we're not just comparing our lives, we're comparing our behind-the-scenes moments to someone else's highlight reel. It's not a fair comparison, and it's one that will always leave us feeling like we're not good enough. I've seen it time and time again. People who are so focused on comparing themselves to others that they forget to focus on their own path. They forget to celebrate their own wins, their own successes, and their own unique journey. The third insight is that comparison is a distraction. It's a distraction from our own path, our own journey, and our own unique purpose. When we're too busy comparing ourselves to others, we're not focused on our own growth, our own development, and our own progress. We're not focused on becoming the best version of ourselves. I remember when I was in my early 20s, I was so focused on comparing myself to my friends that I forgot to focus on my own goals, my own dreams, and my own aspirations. It wasn't until I let go of the need for comparison that I was able to truly focus on my own path. The fourth insight is that comparison is a form of self-sabotage. When we compare ourselves to others, we're not just comparing our lives, we're comparing our worth. We're saying that our worth is tied to how we measure up against others, rather than our own unique value and contribution. This is a dangerous game, one that can leave us feeling like we're not good enough, like we're not worthy of love, acceptance, and respect. I've seen it time and time again, people who are so focused on comparing themselves to others that they forget their own worth, their own value, and their own unique contribution. The fifth insight is that comparison is a choice. We choose to compare ourselves to others, we choose to focus on our differences rather than our similarities, and we choose to let comparison dictate our self-worth. But what if we chose differently? What if we chose to focus on our own path, our own journey, and our own unique purpose? What if we chose to celebrate our differences, rather than trying to compare them? I remember when I made the decision to let go of comparison, it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I was finally free to focus on my own path, my own growth, and my own development. The sixth insight is that authenticity is the antidote to comparison. When we're authentic, we're not trying to be someone else, we're not trying to measure up to someone else's standards, and we're not trying to compare ourselves to others. We're simply being ourselves, with all our quirks, flaws, and imperfections. I've seen it time and time again, people who are authentic, who are true to themselves, and who are unapologetically themselves. They're the ones who are truly free, truly happy, and truly at peace. The seventh insight is that community is key. When we surround ourselves with people who support us, who encourage us, and who celebrate our unique journey, we're less likely to compare ourselves to others. We're more likely to focus on our own path, our own growth, and our own development. I remember when I found my tribe, my community, it was like I had finally found my home. I was surrounded by people who understood me, who supported me, and who encouraged me to be my best self. The eighth insight is that self-compassion is essential. When we're kind to ourselves, when we're gentle with ourselves, and when we're compassionate towards ourselves, we're less likely to compare ourselves to others. We're more likely to focus on our own journey, our own growth, and our own development. I've seen it time and time again, people who are kind to themselves, who are gentle with themselves, and who are compassionate towards themselves. They're the ones who are truly happy, truly at peace, and truly fulfilled. The ninth insight is that mindfulness is a powerful tool. When we're present in the moment, when we're focused on our breath, and when we're aware of our thoughts and emotions, we're less likely to compare ourselves to others. We're more likely to focus on our own journey, our own growth, and our own development. I remember when I started practicing mindfulness, it was like a whole new world opened up for me. I was finally able to focus on the present moment, rather than getting caught up in comparison and self-doubt. The 10th insight is that comparison is a symptom of a deeper issue. It's a symptom of our own fears, our own doubts, and our own insecurities. When we compare ourselves to others, we're often trying to fill a void, to prove ourselves, or to seek validation. But what if we addressed the root cause of our comparison, rather than just the symptoms? What if we faced our fears, our doubts, and our insecurities head-on? I've seen it time and time again. People who are brave enough to face their fears, their doubts, and their insecurities. They're the ones who are truly free, truly happy, and truly at peace. The 11th insight is that we have the power to choose. We have the power to choose how we respond to comparison, how we react to social media, and how we focus on our own journey. We have the power to choose authenticity, community, self-compassion, and mindfulness. We have the power to choose to let go of comparison and to focus on our own path. I remember when I made the decision to let go of comparison, it was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I was finally free to focus on my own path, my own growth, and my own development. The 12th insight is that it's time to take action. It's time to take control of our own journey, our own growth, and our own development. It's time to let go of comparison and to focus on our own path. It's time to choose authenticity, community, self-compassion, and mindfulness. It's time to choose to be our best selves, to live our best lives, and to become who we were always meant to be. So, I want to leave you with a question. What would you do if you could let go of comparison and focus on your own path? Share with me in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about authenticity. Don't forget to subscribe to the Becoming for weekly videos on mindset, resilience, and becoming who you were always meant to be.